for information. Yesterday we had our first call yesterday, and people were very thrilled and excited to be just privy to the information um, that was shared. And we had some people that want to engage and get themselves positioned, but I think the main point was to make people aware that there are individuals out here that are, really laying out infrastructure and strategy and concepts to allow the everyday person, to participate and to build, some solid, sustainable income and wealth, and that's what it's all about. So, the first gentleman is his name is Adrian. He goes by Dynamite Sloan, and you'll hear from him here shortly. And this gentleman is a serial entrepreneur, third generation business owner, 20 plus years of business ownership. And he's an expert in the financial markets. He's owned many companies. I learned a lot about him yesterday from another partner I had on, that was from the Atlanta area. So the gentleman is, and I got on a call after that Zoom yesterday, and there's a lot of validation behind this gentleman, Dynamite Sloan, man. So also a published author, by the way. So he'll be sharing a lot of credible information today. And the second gentleman is Terrell Bilbo. I met Terrell probably a couple of years ago at an event here in Houston, and I just knew him as a blockchain, student, a blockchain coach, teacher, mentor, cryptocurrency, those types, the space that I was in, decentralization and tokenization of real estate and equity. I mean, it was just he was very well, versed in that space. I had a lot of respect for him, and little did I know, there's a lot more layers to his talent and his skill and his experience. So this gentleman is 20 plus years in the real estate as well, custom home builder, land developer, financial advisor, and of course, a certified blockchain expert. So with that being said, you all know who I am, Kenneth Francis. I do my thing and just love to connect people to quality projects and opportunity to increase their wealth and their income from home and or whatever that may be for them. And just kind of the connector, the consultant, right? And this is what I do. So I appreciate y'all being on. I just want to introduce Dynamite Sloan and Mr. Terrell Bilbo. Floor is yours, gentlemen.
All right, all right. Great day. Ken, man, thank you again. Pleasure to be here with you guys. So me, Terrell Bilbo, like he said, man, I've been in the real estate game for over 22 years now. Started off, ran a mortgage company with my family. Um, and then after that got into fixing flips, assignment deals, and then got into the development space. We all grow up in that DIY area where everybody thinks they're investors and everybody think they can do it. But what I found that it made the market very saturated, skewed the prices and things like that. So, me and my family, we decided instead of trying to find the inventory, we'll create the inventory. And I found like that was probably the best pivot we could have made. And then for the last 7 years, we've been building custom homes from the ground up. And this base project is something that we're really excited about because, like I said, I've sold millions of dollars of real estate. But what I think that is missing, especially in our community, is the educational piece. In 2008, everybody is familiar with that. We had the mortgage crash. And at the time, if you look at the statistics, it says black home ownership was the highest it had ever been. If you had a post, you can get a house. But what I did, what I feel like I failed my clients at is that I didn't properly educate them to say, hey, in 2 years, you're gonna have a 2 year arm, you're gonna have adjustable rate mortgage. So let's work on your credit. Let's get you positioned so when that does come, we can refinance and you can stay in your home and that way just position them in the right way. So this time around we want to make sure that we're doing our part. This is 40 plus years of experience with myself and my partner in this space doing business at a very high level, and now it's time to give it back to the community, and help people get in positions and grow their wealth. So I'm super excited about the opportunity. I'm excited to be partnered with Ken and his network, man. He's a dynamic leader, and he's been doing his thing for a long time, and we finally get our chance to really connect and do it together in a real way. So I'm excited about that. So I'll step out the way for a second and introduce you to my partner. This man is a dynamic. He's a jewel amongst jewels, and I'm honored to have him on my side. So without further ado, Dynamite, talk to the people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. If you guys excited out there, man, just as excited as we are, man. I hope you're feeling well. God has blessed us to see another day. So we're beyond grateful. So again, my name is Adrian Dynamite Sloan. Co-visionary of this base project is an amazing project to be serving on for the community. So if you guys could just help me out, if any of you guys live in the Houston market, just do me a favor. I like interaction. If you could put a one in the chat, if you live in the Houston market, and put a two in the chat if you ever bought a home before, just so I can kind of get an understanding of who we're talking to. If you've been through the home buying process, whether it's a personal home, investment property, just kind of what your experience is in this space, just to make sure we all on the same page. Okay. As a Ken's in the area and, went through the home buying process before. Anyone else that's in the Houston market and, or, went through the real estate process, because that's what we're going to really talk about today is the wealth accumulation in the process. So again, I've been a financial advisor and business consultant for over 20 years, third generation business owner. And, in the financial markets, from owning, Forex and crypto academies to running insurance and investment firms to, helping people and corporations scale up to put employee benefit packages together. So I spent my entire life in the financial markets, as well as doing group economics and economic development, from building charter schools, putting things together of that nature in my community, and just grateful, always happy to serve. And so this particular project is group economics and teaching individuals how to acquire wealth. It's one thing to be a part of something where it's just transactional. I think we've all, I'm 40, so I think most of us have been in spaces where we've been a part of transactional style businesses where you just get cash flow and that type of thing. And that's good. That's all good. But this is about ownership, right? So I really want to make sure you guys understand this particular call. This is about putting you in position of equity and ownership, that you can acquire something and build something that we call legacy. And I don't know about you guys, but I understand I'm not going to be here forever, right? But the work that I do, right now is most important, right? When you look at, that tombstone, they always say that dash in the middle. And we're all in the middle of our dash. And right now, we want to make sure we maximize our time and build something that once we're gone, our name is attached to it for legacy. So this is what the base project is about, teaching each and every individual how to be able to acquire that. So we're going to show you guys our projects. Our presentation is not long at all. The call to action is pretty clear of how we can all come together and do something special. So I'll go over that here in just a moment. So my partner is going to show a video of one of the projects. We have 3 projects to share with you guys today that we're a part of, that you could be a part of the group economics with, 12 townhomes, 40 affordable housing units, and the acres that we have outside of Prairie View and A&M University. So let's look at this townhome video first, and then we'll come back and dive right into it, guys.
Welcome to the Estates at Griggs, where luxury meets convenience in every aspect of your living experience. Located in the heart of Houston's vibrant Third Ward, this community offers a unique blend of urban energy and serene living. Imagine living in a place that offers the perfect blend of elegance and accessibility, where every detail is designed to enhance your lifestyle. Nestled between the nation's largest medical center and the rich cultural tapestry of the historic Third Ward, the Estates at Griggs provide a unique living experience that combines the best of both worlds. Just 5 minutes away, you'll find the world-class University of Houston and the historic HBCU, Texas Southern University, making it an ideal location for students and educators alike. Whether you're a student, a professional, or an investor, this prime location is designed to meet your needs, offering a dynamic environment that caters to a diverse range of lifestyles. Each home at the Estates at Griggs is designed with the highest standards, featuring modern kitchens, spacious living areas, and elegant bathrooms, all with breathtaking views of downtown Houston, the medical center, and the Galleria, providing a picturesque backdrop to your daily life. Our homes offer upscale family living and luxury student living with our 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom design, ensuring ample space and comfort for everyone. Everyone enjoys full amenities and privacy, making this a great home for your family or an ideal investment. Enjoy exclusive access to premium community amenities that cater to your every need, from fitness to relaxation and socializing. Living at the Estates at Griggs means you're never far from the best that Houston has to offer, with a vibrant dining scene, shopping districts, and beautiful parks all within reach. We also make your dream home a reality with our one-time close financing program, which simplifies the home buying process. Finance your land purchase and construction in one seamless transaction, with 0% down for those who qualify, making it easier than ever to own your dream home. Discover luxury living in the heart of one of the fastest growing cities, where modern urban living meets timeless elegance. The Estates at Griggs, your dream home or a smart investment for the future, offering both luxury and long-term value. Visit us today to learn more and schedule your tour. Our team is ready to help you find the perfect home that meets all your needs. The Estates at Griggs, where luxury meets opportunity.
All right, guys. So I mean, every time I see that, I get excited. Just for the simple fact that, Third Ward is home for me. My mom grew up CUNY home baby, went to Yakes. So that Third Ward area is very special to me. And then just to understand that in that space, historically black environment, but it's changing and it's growing, and we want to do our part again to make sure that we're developing things as a builder and being conscious in the space and not just out here trying to make money, but also doing something that's going to have impact for long lasting. So we'll get into the presentation as far as what base is. So base is a real estate development company, and we're focused on high demand housing product that meets underserved markets demand. So what does that mean? When you look at Houston right now, the statistics say that there are over 90,000 shortage of affordable housing. That's 350,000 and lower, right? So we always say, find a hole and fill it. Where is the need? What is the market really calling for? Because so many times, especially in business, we can go off of what we like or what we feel, but the market doesn't really care about what you like or what you feel. It's about what the market needs, and that's what we want to make sure that we are speaking to and building for. This round we're raising only $2 million for this particular phase of our development. So we'll talk more about that in the limited time offer to for you guys if you want to participate in that. Right? If I can get this thing to go. All right, there we go. So what problem are we solving? Right. So critical, like I said, like I stated, Houston is facing a shortfall of over 90,000 affordable housing. That's that entry level home. A lot of times people are paying, 3 times their rent. Right now, you have to make 3 times your rent to rent a place. But what are you doing? You're basically paying somebody else's mortgage, building somebody else's dream for the long term while you continue to throw money down the drain. So what we want to do, we say ownership is important. How else can you sustain wealth and build something for your family if you're renting and you don't own the dirt, right? So in the Third Ward area, we're looking to do this revitalization project. When you look at proximity to the medical center, proximity to downtown, this is a very advantageous area, and it's continuing to appreciate at a very rapid speed, right? So being there and getting a piece of the dirt is very, very important. And then when we look at like Prairie View and the possibilities that we can do there, student housing has been always an issue. I was a freshman at Prairie View in 1998. And at that time, it was over 2,000 students that had no place to go. So this will continue to grow. So when we talk about long-term and legacy plays, that's what we're looking at. So we build high-demand homes, entry level for student housing and workforce living, and we offer that entry level price. So we make sure that it's affordable. When you look at the rates and everything that's going on in the mortgage market, how do we get people a price range that they could actually own something and still be affordable for them so they can again start to accumulate that wealth? So that's what we're looking to do here at Base. The market conditions, population growth. The statistics right now say that 1,000 people a month are moving here to Houston, Texas. Right. So I know it's for many of us, if you're here in the Houston, if you're here in the city, you woke up one day and it was just more people on the road. And it takes about anywhere you go, it takes a hour and a half to get there. You almost have to pack a lunch to do anything in Houston. So that could be a good and bad thing, but we're looking at the positive of it is that there's a supply You know, there's definitely a demand that is coming to this city, and the supply is not where it needs to be. So we can build for the next 10 years, and we probably wouldn't put a dent in it, but we can only do our part, right? And then you look at the educational institutions, TSU, the University of Houston, and Prairie View. You know, these are institutions where, you know, the freshman class, their housing is taken care of. Everything above the freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they basically got to fend for themselves. So again, when you find a hole, you fill it. And this is something, again, these universities are not going anywhere. So when you think about an investment that gives you a long-term outlook on where you can be in the next 5, 10, 20 years, these are the type of plays that you should be looking at. And the housing demands will continue to increase, you know, but if every house in Houston, the average house is 420 to almost 500,000, you know, average home sales. So that market, that below 350, man, is a huge niche that we're looking to supply. And again, like I said, strategic locations, man. Location, that's everything when you talk about real estate. And we're making sure that we're doing our homework, we're doing our studies, and making sure that we're developing in the right places. Right. So this launch phase, this is the entry level phase, and I'll let my brother talk more about this. But this is an opportunity for you, for those investors who want a quick return, to want to get out and get in and get out, be whole. But the bigger thing of this is that once you're in the base network, you get first rights of refusal, which means you get to partner with a developer that you can now purchase property at cost. So I'll stop it there. I'll leave it there, and I'll let my brother pick up from there. Adrian.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate that, Brother Bilbo. Man, listen, always an honor to be able to get on just to talk about this, guys. I do this presentation, Taylor and I a couple of times for a couple of different groups, and it never gets old to me. Every time I see that, it just never gets old, because the passion of why we doing is always there every day. So it's actually a reminder, every day is actually a reminder of what we're doing and why we're doing it. And so, I just want to share this opportunity with you guys. So for what this phase is. So again, Base being in a real estate development company, regardless of where you live at right now in your community, if you live in a housing development, condominiums, townhomes, so forth, someone had to build it, right? True or not true? It came from building it, right? And that's why you have an opportunity to occupy your living quarters. And so what we're talking about is a developer at some point, prior to you moving in, had to go through the phase that we're in now. That's just what happens when I come around from Houston and I drive around. I see all these developments. So we understand we're not the only development company, in the whole city. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina now, and I come to Houston to take care of business a couple of times a month and go back to Charlotte. And when I look around, guys, it's people building everywhere. The question of it is have you partnered with anybody? See, that's the part of it I really want you guys to lead this conversation with, is have you partnered with a developer to be able to get in on what's being built, right? If you were to partner with the developer in your condominium or townhome or home where you live now, then just think about what your equity would be. Just think about how many of those homes could you have bought, at that time frame, and how much larger would your wealth be today? Guys, this is just the reality of what it is. And so this conversation is just a conversation that we've opened up a door. They say we're allowing people to be able to come inside of our network and partner with us, right? The base project itself is backed by a hedge fund of $25 million to be able to build this out. So as you guys go through this, I really want to talk numbers and have you to have absolute clarity when you leave this call, so you understand the group economics of what it is. Because Terrell and I are educators first. We both teach at colleges. My daughter's at a HBCU in Charlotte, in North Carolina, and I teach at that school for the freshmen coming in. I teach a financial literacy course into the community. I was a prior, CEO of Black Wall Street in Atlanta, for those of you guys in that area. And so I've worked in group economics and teaching financial literacy for a long time. And the piece that we need is an opportunity to get in on the wealth. So this presentation is just that. It's a call to action that you can get in on the wealth. And so in our construction draw for the first phase of this is $5 million out of the 25. What we did is set aside 10% of that. They said we'll allow, right, the community and business leaders and entrepreneurs who want to get a part of that. You can invest with us at this point, right? So we put together 10% of that deal. Said 500,000 could be invested in from the network with a 10% ROI. So you're backing your collateral, is being backed by our funds in the construction draw. And that's why I asked you guys early on, how many has owned the house, built the house, to understand the language that we was going to be speaking, because in a construction draw, that money's already there. This is the only reason why right now in the community, you can get a 10% ROI on your money in 120 days, a minimum of 25,000 investment. We want it to be low hanging fruit enough that the average person, if they have some disposable income sitting to the side, that they can get in. Or if they have business credit card, they want to charge it to their card, you could get in. No more than $100,000 maximum, because we didn't want not one person to be able to monopolize on the opportunity and take up that whole 10% threshold, if that makes sense to you guys. So being that we in the first draw of this is extended open. We have 2 investor meetings going on today. One today at 7 at 5115 here in Houston, which is a restaurant aside of Saks Fifth Avenue. From 7 to 9, we'll entertain a group who want to take a look at the opportunity, come in, and we have another one Friday. But once we close this out this week, this phase to be closed out, because within 30 days we're going into development. So in this first phase, you can take part of that group economics of 10% of that drawdown and have your money back by our construction draw. Now, not only do you see development, you have partnered with development and be a part of that equity line share to be able to build wealth for your family. Does that make sense to you guys? If that makes sense, guys, can you just put a 7 in the chat if that makes sense and understand what we're talking about? We're talking about you being able to partner with the development and get an opportunity to have portions of that inventory that now you can come back and invest into, and you can say, I want 1 of them, I want 2 of them, I want 3 of them. What we allow is up to 10% of the inventory to be able to be grabbed by one person in the community. When we go into our second phase of it, it's going to be the same 10% ROI, but now we're in construction phase. Does that make sense, guys? So now it takes longer to be able to return the ROI back to the team, which is still a great investment, right? I worked in securities and investments, and you can get a 10% ROI on your money. That's a great day, right? Most things in the stock market is less than 10. And so if you can get 10% on your money and get interest only payments every quarter, it's still great, right? But it will be 12 months with a balloon payment on the 13th month. Or if you want a longer investment of 15%, it holds in there longer. Your capital is still backed by the development, and you get an interest only payment every quarter, right? And then the balloons on the 25th month. So a minimum will be 100,000. So in phase 1, with the construction draw, we allow 500,000 to come in, and you can get that money back in 120 days at 10%. After this closes, then it's going to be a minimum of 100,000 investment, because we'll be in the construction phase. So I just want to make sure you guys understand the difference of the phases and why Ken hosted this call, because when we told him about it, Ken jumped right on it, and he said he wanted to introduce it to his friends and network to be able to see if you guys are interested in jumping on this project with him, because he's all in with us at this point. So those funds will be allocated right to these projects. Lower Copy, here in Houston area, that's 40 affordable homes that'll be built out. Griggs is the 12 townhomes that Tara just showed you the video about that. And the growth of the next phase is actually, the Prairie, which is 8 acres, which is such a blessing. Again, I have college age kids. One goes to Iona University, D1 basketball player. She plays ball in New Rochelle. So she goes to a PWI. That my other daughter goes to a HBCU, right? So I see the difference of a housing status. The one that goes to the PWI, $80,000 a year to tuition. Thank God she got a scholarship, right? $320,000 for her 4 years over there at Iona. Never complains about housing. Always good to go. My daughter, though, I love the coach. I love the HBCU culture, but it's a shortage of about 1,500 bed shortage at majority of the HBCUs across the country. My daughter fell into that threshold. Freshman year, she had housing. Sophomore year, she didn't. Me and her mom and I had to pay an extra $2,500, every single month to give her the right type of housing so she could be comfortable. Thank God her grades got better, and she was more comfortable and secure. So for me, that was a real life case study to be able to see when you put your children in a good, safe environment in college, they actually perform better, right? They're in a better position to do better. But the phase 2 for us will be that student housing project. So this $2 million capital raise is to open up an opportunity to the community to be able to come in and be a part of this infrastructure. But guys, the time to move is right now, because this project is moving at a great pace. So the funds that come in will go to these particular projects. So now let's talk about the project number 1. So this is the 40 affordable housing. What we found out in our research working with the politicians here in the Houston market, that 40% of the population here are single, right? And so that 2-bedroom, 2-bath is what they're looking for. 1,000 square feet. They don't want a huge home. They want a nice, comfortable space, you know what I mean, to be able to take care of their family. And so 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1 bedroom, 1.5 bath is what the market is calling for. Again, if the market want white shirts, we're gonna provide white t-shirts, right? So we're not gonna make blue, right? Even though it's my favorite color, and the market needs white. So I was thinking a 3-bedroom, 2-bath might be the ideal thing, right? But we find that in the market, that's not what it is. And so based on our data, we're going to be able to provide what the market is calling for. Houston has about a 90,000 housing shortage. So with 90,000 people short of having a home, we could put them in an affordable home. Would you guys agree that it's cheaper to own than it is to rent? Do you guys agree with that? I absolutely believe that, right? That it's cheaper to own your home and build equity than it is to rent a home when you have to have 3 times the rent to be able to show. So when we build those homes, and that price range from 250 to 300,000, when the average home around here is around 400 grand. So let's talk about money, how that performer works. If you look down at the bottom, you'll see that mock home, if you got a construction loan, so if you put your money in and you got your money out, you're made whole in this phase in 120 days. What would be the next step? The next step is to leverage, right? Somebody put leverage in the chat. Let's talk financial literacy for a second. And how do you build wealth? You leverage it. You don't come out of your checkbook. You don't go to your safe or your stock drawer and pull cash out. You leverage it. You take your credit score, back it up with your LLC, and you go get the funds from the bank and you leverage it, right? You get a construction loan for that $150,000. You take that money as a construction loan, you pay the development company to go ahead and pay for the labor and the timber and everything that's needed. That market value of that home will be around 300,000. Guys, that's $150,000 in profit. Because somebody just put profit in the chat. So if we were to get you a construction loan, if you partner in our network and now you're partnered with a developer, would it be nice to have profit? Right. So when I ask you again, how would you have felt if you partnered with the developer in your neighborhood and all the houses that are around you, you could have had a line share of how many you own? You would have more profit. Guys, here's your opportunity to do that. So what we talk about and wish we could have had are opportunities in front of you right now that these developments are going to get built. We would love to have you guys come on board, but I can tell you guys, if you didn't do it, you're just going to see them go up because the blueprints, the permits is already in motion. I would hate for you to miss the opportunity if you was in position to take advantage of it. Instead of saying, I wish I would have, you could be saying, I'm glad I did. Because now we're talking about you made 150 grand on average per home, and you can get up to 4 of those. So if you invest inside the network now, you can take down no more than 10% of the inventory as one investor inside a base. So again, that means 4 homes. So that's 160,000 plus the 10% ROI in 12 months. Now, if you can make anywhere between 150,000 to 600,000 passively without picking up a hammer or a nail, would you guys think that was a great business opportunity? Just help me out. Can you guys let me know? Is that a great business opportunity for you? If you could leverage your business and your personal credit and turn it into your business credit, get the money from the loan, partner with it, get the money from the bank, partner with a development company, and make $150,000 to $300,000 all profit without having to pick up a hammer and nail, this is what we're talking about. That's the first project. Let's go to the second. And the second project is the townhomes in Griggs. So now we're talking about 12 lots that we have available. It's going to be, again, first come, first serve, first rights of refusal. Two different styles, though. One is a 4-bedroom, 4-bath. The other one's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath. So the cost of that will fluctuate. But let's look at the total overall deal. You're talking about a $7 million gross profit project, right? That about 50% of that goes back to the network, right? So again, same concept. If you want one, you leverage the construction loan. We put that together, build out the development piece, and then you're good to go. So if that whole deal was $450,000 to build that townhome, I would say within that deal, cost, materials, and base building it out, $450, and the appraisal. We just had one got appraised the other day. God, that home appraised for like a little over $900,000. Again, let me ask you a business question. If it took you $450 to leverage to be able to make $900,000, and you made a $450,000 profit, is that a good deal? See, this is what we're talking about. Most people buy real estate at market or almost about 20% below market. True or not true? If you could partner with a development company, you're already at cost with the materials. You follow me? So you come into the project at a 40 to 50% margin off the top. Any damn business, that's a good day to understand you got 40 to 50% of equity in your home immediately. And if you wanted to do a cash out refi, you can. We can structure that with one of our lenders. You could pull a cash out of the project and put it up, rent it out, and continue to let that rent that comes in do your debt servicing. Now you got $700,000 that you don't pull back out of the property. It's cash flowing. You're making money. You could take that money and do another project. These are the secrets of the wealthy that most people don't get a chance to benefit from. But based on this call, you guys can. Now, this particular piece of it is really, really dear to my heart because, again, my deal is finance. And so teaching financial literacy to our community is this. This is part of basis closing process. Now, just imagine for me for just a moment, you get your home, you're part of the base network. Now, when we go to the closing of the deal, we have that property deeded to your LLC. Why do we say that? Because I believe you should do all things in the name of business. The United States of America is not a country, it's a corporation. And so based on it being a corporation, you should do everything in business. So that deed is now put into the LLC. What do you do from there? Now you put in a limited liability corporation. You take that LLC and you put it inside of a trust, an irrevocable trust. What do that do now? Now you're in a situation where that property is owned by that business and that business is now owned by the trust. What does that do to you? It separates you from all liability, separates you from the taxation of it, separates you from divorce, lawsuits, and anything else where anybody could take your property, including probate. Hello, that property is over here. So you have access to the assets, but you don't own them. Again, good, sound financial concepts that in the Black and brown community is not taught about. How do you own something and have access to it, but you're not in it? How you can control something without owning it and don't have the liability for lawsuits? I met a young lady. I told this story last time on a call with Ken. She told me, Stone, I wish I would have met you 2 weeks prior, right here in Houston. Mom had a property in Third Ward, ended up in a situation where they was trying to buy the property. Been in a family 40, 50 years. The niece got the loan for it. The bank told the bank she needed a couple more days to get the down payment together, so she pushed the closing back. Guys, the bank is not going to tell you everything, right? Some of this stuff is up to you. They allow her to push the closing date back, but the property fell in foreclosure. No lender's going to give you a loan on a foreclosure property. They lost a 40 to 50-year asset in their family because of financial literacy. Most people even say, well, if I got a will, that should be good enough. Will still go before a judge. That will has to be read over, and if it's not contested, it can go as planned. But if not, you're going to have issues, and it's still tied up in probate. If you put that property inside of a trust, you're not connected to it, and you're good. The last thing I'm going to say with this, not only does that product get wrapped around an insurance policy for more protection, but the most beautiful thing about this process right here, guys, that a person's in a situation where they got peace of mind. They have security, that everything is good to go, and they can be in a position where they can always know that their property is in their family. That is legacy at the highest level. When you talk about passing down wealth from generation to generation, you have to be in the right product. So the third project is the Prairie View project. You're talking about 8 acres there with 1,000 beds. Prairie View is about 1,400 beds short right now. So partner with Base, what does that do? Let's talk business. Because they have a shortage, in order for them to fill this shortage, what would they have to do? They will have to go buy the land, put millions of dollars up to develop it, right? To recoup their money back out. They don't want to do that, right? So it behooves them to make a strategic partnership with a development company where the development company can buy the land, spend the millions of dollars to develop it, and then just lease the beds back to them. It's a win-win situation. So what does that do from a development company? That's guaranteed assured income that's going to come in to recoup your funds. Clear cash flow situation. What does that do for the school? The school can now bring on more students for tuition. What happens when a kid goes to school and fill out their financial aid or their student loans? Their housing inside of that tuition packet. So whatever the dollar amount is for that housing, the government already pays for it. So it's a streamlined situation on how to be able to do this process and make clear cash flow. That's about an $8 million a year gross cash flow. What about $4 million profit? I mean, somebody just put cash flow in the chat. This is a pure cash flow project. We can build the project, don't sell it to the school, do a long-term lease option with them, and just create cash flow indefinitely, right? So this is a great situation. We'll be doing this across the country, not just with Prairie View, but because my brother's alumni of Prairie View, he's had a plan for over 27 years to do it, and God just blessed him to be in a situation for us to get 8 acres in eyes view from Prairie View to be able to put this together. So let's talk about the second phase of this. So those are the 3 projects that's on the table. If you decide to invest in this entry-level launch phase of base right now to partner with us with this entry level to 25,000 to 100,000, you guys get a chance to get in with first rights of refusal. Once this closes out, this is kind of reiteration of what I talked about before. When we go into that last 1.5 million, it's going to be the 100,000 minimum, 10% ROI, quarterly payments for that backside. So again, the sense of urgency is there. If you see an opportunity for yourself, we would love to invite you in to go through our business building, personal credit, business credit building, the funding that's necessary. We have vehicles for that. You just go right into all the base resources to build your corporation so you could do things in the name of business. So as our projects come up in that network, first rights of refusal, what does that mean? Anytime there's inventory, it always goes to someone that's in base first. Again, guys, we built our own community. And so because we're in education, we want everybody to be able to have their property acquired and built out, or we have a level of influence in there to making sure our network elevates. So I don't care if a person got in at 25,000 or 50,000 now, and building themselves up, and we get their business credit built. We help them get in a situation they can go to a lender, get $250,000 or 500,000. Then they may be able to invest 100,000 in the next project, right? Well, our goal simply is to build accredited investors inside the network. So we help our network grow and leverage it. There's no need to partner with the hedge fund company or the bank. It's group economics all the way around. You follow me? So we're building accredited investors from people inside the community. Does that make sense, guys? Do you guys feel where we're coming from now? Do you see the vision of what we're talking about? We're talking about farm raising and growing business owners and entrepreneurs to have ownership and understand how do you do this process. You don't have to sit back and wait and watch other people win in this game. If you can have a mentor hold your hand and walk you through it to be able to help you get in a position of power and ownership, that's what you want. You can't pass down cash flow. I say this all the time to my students. Everyone talks about what their cash flow is. Do you realize you cannot pass down cash flow unless you own it? You have to own the machine that creates the cash flow for you to keep the cash flow in your family. Guys, don't miss that. Don't get caught up in ego or pride or none of this stuff where you don't understand. No one man owns their cash flow unless they own the machine that creates the cash flow. Hello. You can have your job and making 6 figures, right? You could be doing these different things. Oh, I got good money. That's cool. That's great. I don't take anything away from that. But do you own the machine that prints the money? See, it's a different conversation when you start talking ownership. It's not the same position. Everybody can beat their chest about how much money they make. No one cares about how much money you make if you die. Your family can't eat off of your old cash flow. They can't call your boss and say, can you still send that check to the house? They're not going to send it because you have to trade time for money to create cash flow. But when you're in a position of ownership and you've built a system that's going to keep printing money, whether you go to work or not, whether you get up or not, see, that's the part of the cash flow quadrant when Robert Kiyosaki made it clear that most people in America make money 4 ways. Employees trade time for money, right? Self-employed doctors and lawyers, yeah, you make a little bit more money, but you still own your job, right? You still got to go to work. One of my best friends is a dentist. He got 3 different dentist offices in Charlotte, right? And in North Carolina, but he still got to fly around the country and pull teeth. You know what I'm saying? To clean them, and he still got to do it. He still got to do it. Business owners create systems. Well, we create systems where people do things and the money is generating without trading time for money. And the best position is the last one. When you become an investor and you learn how to make money without you laboring and working for it, without trading time for money, now you own the machine that creates the cash. Hello. Guys, that's what we're talking about. See, a lot of people talk about this stuff from theory. Base is doing it in reality. And we're saying, hey, the doors is open, right? If you want to get into a space to really own something and really own the machine that makes the money, come on, we'll show you. We'll show you. We'll show you how to own your machine and stop being at the mercy of other people turning the machine switch on and off. This is what happened with some of y'all cash flow. Going on and off. You know why? Because somebody else is controlling it. It's a different game when you own your own machine. So if you get in a position of ownership, turn the switch on and you can keep the switch on for a lifetime. Guys, I hope you guys caught that one, man. God just gave me a revelation to give to you on this call. I hope you guys caught that because this is what it's all about. So if you come into this deal as a base investor and investor one, when you're investing at 100,000, let's just talk about pure scenarios, right? 10% ROI, 12 months. You get you one home. The net profit on that deal is about 150 grand. We only talk about you made $160,000 without picking up a hammer, nail, put on a hard hat, putting on your construction boots and going to the site. Are you guys okay that on a minimum, if you invested at 25,000 and got first rights of refusal and you was able to get one home, right? Just one home that was built for your business, for your family, and you made 160,000 passively, are you okay with that? Would you guys consider it to be a good ROI? That you own the machine that created 160 grand. Are you okay with that? I just want to check. Second scenario, if you invested a little bit more, you left the money in for a little bit longer, you got more profit on the deal and you got 3 homes, right? Now you have what, $500,000 that you made over 24 months in same scenario. Are you okay with making 500,000 with getting first-class business education, first-class business economics understanding, first-class positioning to be able to get a strong paydex score, a strong Dun & Bradstreet relationship, personal credit, business credit is A1, where you can now leverage your business and continue to keep your cash flow going because you own that daggone machine and you're making $500,000 every 24 months based on that streamlined process. Are you okay with that? I just want to see if you guys are okay with that. Because that's all we're talking about. We're talking about getting in position to be able to make some true ownership cash flow and make things work for you and your family. Go ahead, T. So let's talk about risk mitigation, guys, as we wrap this up. Quarterly payments are there, asset security, because it's backed by real estate, no fugazi fairy dust, no network marketing, no faking and making, shaking and baking and faking and all this kind of stuff. We're talking about boots on the ground, dirt, right? God ain't making no more dirt. So the assets is already there, transparent reporting, you get a check every quarter from the CPA, and a clear exit strategy. You can sell it at the end of construction. We're a marketing firm, guys. And so we have the first-time home buyers closed. Like Tara's wife is a real estate agent. We have other real estate agents in the network, right? So we run in the meetings. We have the CRMs already put in place for the qualified buyers. We have people already coming through, getting a personal credit put in position so they can buy whatever inventory come out of base. So all that means is we've created the machine of qualified buyers and owners to bring them together. That's what base has done. We have a bunch of investors who own property, and we have a bunch of qualified clients who want a property. So which means these properties will be sold off plan before they even done, before you got the door handle to open it up. You understand, buying off plan, people see it coming, and because they want to get in first, they go ahead and get approved and put their down payment. I'm like, that's my house. That's what you guys have for exit strategy. You have a network that's ready to go. So you get a chance long-term to be a part of our community and have sustainable. This is a sustainable situation where you got a sustainable development that's going to continue to grow indefinitely. We're looking for long-term relationship, guys. You can get in quickly, right? That's the short term, but we're talking about building something long-term. It's only thing something called legacy. That's what this deal is all about. Go ahead, Tara. So last thing, you can screenshot that. You can get in contact with Terrell and I. Those both of our numbers, guys. We'll send over your information. We'll send you an investment packet, a JV packet. You sign that, we sign it, and we go in business with each other. As much as we love what we're doing and the passion behind it, we're doing business with you, right? You become a strategic partner with a development company. We're going to send you a packet and we all sign. Now we in business. Now you get a chance to get the one-on-one coaching and mentorship. Now you get an opportunity to be a part of the mastermind groups that we do. Now you get a chance to come to everything that we're part of, and we're just one base community, guys, just trying to make sure that we can build and acquire these assets, sustain them, and excellence is always there. Like, you have an opportunity to do something that you could sustain. The biggest part of base acronym to me is the S, sustain. You have to sustain it. Everybody want to build wealth. My question is, can you keep it? Hello. Everybody want to be successful. My question is, can you keep it? Can you sustain it to pass it down from generation to generation? Ain't no shortage of land. But opportunities come and go, guys. And this window of opportunity is open for everybody who want to be a part of our community and our team, and we can teach you how to grow. Ken is an amazing business guy, great passion, great integrity for what we want to do. So when we talked to Ken about this deal, he said, man, listen, can you guys, talk to our community? And we got investment dinners to do today, but we told Ken we would do it off the strength of him just to bring it open because he didn't want his network to miss the opportunity, even though it was, short notice and you guys got all your different projects that are going on, but you can't make decisions for people. Only thing you can do is put it in front of them, and whosoever will let them come. But we wanted to do Ken a solid and do this for you guys. So I hope we said something that resonated with you for you to see the opportunity. And if you're a person that's in position and been looking for something like this, we're looking for the people that's looking for us. That's all it is. We're just looking for the people who want to do something in ownership and equity, and you can build an opportunity for you and your family. So if that's you, get back with Ken. If it's anybody that's in this call right now with the 8 of us on, that this opportunity is something for you, can you just put a 7 in the chat so we'll know if this is something that you've been looking for, something that you've been wanting to do. And if it's something that you want to do, can you just put a 7 in the chat so Ken will know who to reach back to, guys? We just want to know if you're that person and this resonates with something that you want to get developed into, then we're extending the olive branch out to you so we can have that conversation and be able to help you go to the next level. So if you want to put the 7 in the chat so Ken to know right away, then that's fine. Or you could reach back to Ken after the call and you guys can have a one-on-one conversation to be able to put. Well, there you go. Mr. Andrews, Ken said, he's raising his hand and say he want to have a conversation. Michael, okay, there you go. Michael said in your community, he want to have a conversation. Guys, it's just an opportunity for people to be able to go to the next level. So if you want to partner with Base, welcome to the community. Welcome to the family, guys. We're looking forward to help you. So Ken, we pass it back over to you, dear brother. We can open it up for Q&A. We got a couple of minutes to take a couple of questions. Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Yeah. And again, I would say it's kind of short notice. I was like, hey, I heard it on a Sunday. I was like, let's do it Monday, or was it Monday and then Tuesday, whatever. But I already knew that people that I would invite would already have an open mind to what you guys were talking about because we're already in this space, right? We're talking about this stuff every day, just about, whether it's finance or, some type of investing, et cetera. So this just struck a chord on a different, I would say the same, similar category, but at a different level, right? So I knew it would resonate very well. So, man, again, hats off to you. Salute to you guys. It don't get no better than this, man. The way you all have put this together for a person like myself and other individuals to tap into legitimate, like you said, guys not making any more dirt, to really invest and get involved with equity in the land is a different play, right? And at this level, it's doable, right? Especially if you're going with the mindset of leveraging the bank, OPM, right? Other people's money, other people's property, other people's time, stuff like that. Those are things we've been talking about too. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, go ahead. You can ask right now. We'll wrap this thing up. We're right around the top of the hour, perfect timing, and we'll take it from there. And we'll get this recording out as well. So anybody got any questions, go ahead and unmute, or you just put it in the chat, and we'll give you a few seconds to do that, and we can wrap this thing up. Any questions? Going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right, we're good. We're good. And I also know you're not going to retain a lot of what you heard, but you'll be able to go rewatch this, digest it, revisit your notes if you're taking notes, which you should be, and then have, maybe some quality questions as well. So, but, all of you all know where I'm at. Call me, text me, inbox me. Let's have the sidebar conversation. Let's bring some calls directly to Mr. Bilbo, to Mr. Sloan as well, to really streamline what this process looks like. Again, I'm just getting myself positioned and engaged, but I know, what momentum looks like. And we could do some amazing things with this project, man. So again, thank you, gentlemen, for being on. Terrell, you want to close with anything? Mr. Sloan, want to close with anything? If not, we're out of here. Appreciate you.